Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Johnston.
And I'm Michael Gershman, here for North Beach Community TV.
And northbeachnow.com. And what are we doing and where are we, Michael?
We're at the Ocean Shores Convention Center for the dinner and auction portion of the 9th Annual Grays Harbor Youth Athletics Golf Tournament and Football Camp that was set up by Dana LeDuc, Ocean Shores resident.
And we're going to start our coverage of this with an interview with Mr. LeDuc. And then I was at the golf course earlier today. We'll talk with a few of the football celebrities that are on hand for this event. And we hope you enjoy our presentation.
We are here with the creators of this event, Mary and Dana LeDuc. Coach LeDuc, tell us a little bit about your history and what's happening here. What is this event?
We'll do it. Anyway, a little bit about my history. I'm born and raised in Tacoma, Washington, Madigan Army Hospital. My father was stationed here, and I grew up in Spanaway Parkland area. And I left high school as a pretty good shot putter, a state champion, and I got a scholarship. I went to Kansas for a year, transfer to the University of Texas. I got hired to be the first strength and conditioning coaches. The football players would not lift weights back in the day. The head coach and the trainer really didn't believe in it, and it was kind of an old school, make you too tight, you won't be able to move type thing. And so they saw the throwers, and they decided that it may be a pretty good idea because we outweighed most of their players by 30, 40 pounds. We could outrun them in a 20. We could move faster than them, so they decided to hire me and take a chance on me. So I spent 17 years there, 2 at the University of Miami, where I met my beautiful wife, Mary LeDuc, and came to the Seattle Seahawks with Dennis Erickson for 4 years. We got let go on a bad play that brought instant replay back into the league. I go to the Rams. We won a Super Bowl my first year and went back again 2 years later, and I had 11 very, very fine years there with the Rams and retired. We stayed there while my wife finished her teaching. We moved back to Austin, and we've had a place out here in Ocean Shores for 25 years. My first year in Seattle, I bought a place to bring my father down to, and he loved it down here, and every spare moment we had together was spent down here. And we'd come through and we'd meet kids every now and then, and I would bring some size 17 and 18 shoes from Howard Ballard. You might have remembered him, played for the Bills. At the end of his career, he's with us, and a couple of these guys couldn't find shoes in the stores locally, so we'd do some things like that. And my dad said, you know, if you ever have the wherewithal, Dana, and an opportunity, why don't you do something for these kids? Something, if you think you can do it, you know, you have my blessing, and I want you to go for it and make a difference and be a giver. And so my friends prodded me along, my wife being my closest friend, and we got this thing going 10 years ago. And we were in the clubhouse, the golf clubhouse today. That's where we held our dinner. There was about 40 people. We had homemade barbecue, and all of our auction items, all 14 of them were on a table. Most of them were baked goods. And I think we made about $2,000. But one of the fellas there that seemed to bid everything up, unbeknownst to me, was a longtime friend of my father's that he introduced me 2 years ago when I was coaching at Texas, probably close to 35 years ago. It was Steve Paul. And I met him when I came home for vacation, summer vacation, and really hit it off with Steve. And stayed in touch with him, sent him Texas gear, Miami gear, became a close friend. And when I got to Seattle, I got to see a whole lot more of him. And then we did our first camp, and unbeknownst to me, Mr. Paul was purchasing most everything on the table. And bidding it up, we probably shouldn't have made near the money we did. And the following year, we moved to the Elks Club, and I think he had 4 or 5 people planted in the audience to bid things up. So I said, well, good. We finally have some other people bidding on things. And again, unbeknownst to me, it was Steve's plants. He had 4 or 5 guys out there, or gals, bidding things up that he could purchase, and it was a love affair with him. I mean, he's just a wonderful human being, the biggest giver probably I've ever met. He made me a better person. And so when Steve passed away a few years back, I got permission from his wife, Judy, and son, Josh, and the family to name this tournament in his honor. He was such a huge part of this thing and the growth of what we've been able to accomplish here for our kids. And he has been a special, special person in my life. We talk to him all the time up in heaven, and I think he's given us our blessing. We've had very good weather, and everything's cooperated, and that's basically how it all got started. And again, it does take a village, as my wife and I were talking of earlier. One or two people can't do this. This takes all the people that we have involved. I mean, there's 15, 20 people, and we live away 8 months a year. We're here 4 months, and I just can't thank the people of Ocean Shores and Aberdeen and Hoquiam that get involved to help us. We are truly blessed, and tomorrow will be a big day when we get over 200 young kids out there, and we have a camp for them, and we give them a nice camp T-shirt, and we feed them lunch. We're really looking forward to that. Actually, 2019, 2 years ago, when we had our last function, we raised close to $18,000, and I have to say over the last 8 functions that we've had for Grays Harbor Youth Athletics, we're close to $300,000 that we've raised.
Okay, so we're here on the Ocean Shores Golf Course just before the golf tournament part of the Grays Harbor Youth Athletics weekend kicks off, and we're here with a gentleman who has been described as the most notable football player to come out of Grays Harbor. This is Mark Bruener. Mark, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for letting me come on today. Really glad that I'm here, and it's nice to meet you as well.
All right. So we're going to ask Mark, first of all, just give us a little summary of your career and how you come to be known as a great from this area, and then tell us why you're here today and what youth athletics means in general, and especially here in Grays Harbor. So, Mark Bruener, everybody.
Well, being born and raised in Aberdeen, I had the great fortune of playing for the Washington Huskies in the early 90s. 1991 was my freshman year, and we won a national championship that year. I played 4 years with the Huskies and was drafted in 1995 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. My first year there in Pittsburgh, we went to the Super Bowl, and unfortunately lost to the Dallas Cowboys, but still was a great first year in the NFL. I played 9 years for the Steelers, and then went on and played for the Houston Texans for 5 years. I retired after the 2008 season, and my family and I moved back here to the Northwest. We've been living in Woodinville, and learning about Dana LeDuc's event that he has had here, and the focus of raising money and trying to help the youth sports here in Grays Harbor, to me is wonderful, and I'm glad I'm able to be a part of it, because by me playing in youth sports here in Grays Harbor is what allowed me to have the career in the sports career that I had, being a collegiate athlete and playing in the NFL as well.
So, Mark, tomorrow you're going to participate in a football camp for all the whatever youth in Grays Harbor wants to attend. What does it mean to the kids, and why is it important for kids to interact with athletes who have had successful careers and successful lives?
Well, I think it's important for the youth to be involved in athletics, and it doesn't necessarily have to be football, but everybody has a dream. I had a dream of playing football, and I was able to fulfill my dream. And I was in the same shoes or the same cleats that these young kids are going to have when we interact with them on Sunday. And I'm excited because I can communicate with them that I was born and raised here, and I was able to fulfill my dream. And you're able to interact with so many different people and interact with so many different coaches, being involved in youth athletics. And to me, I think it's a wonderful opportunity for these young boys and girls to try to get a chance to fulfill their dreams.
Thank you, Mark. good luck on the links today.
I'm going to need a lot of luck on the links today. I haven't played much golf.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mark. Thank you. And joining us now is Kenneth Sims. Kenneth Sims, you're going to be inducted into the College Hall of Fame this year. Is that right?
Yes, sir. After many years of being recognized for being one of the greatest college football players, it's quite an honor. Looking forward to it. It's going to be in Las Vegas on December 7th, 2021. And looking forward to it. Of course, you don't get an honor like that without having great coaches and great players. And, of course, that brings me to the point of being here. My buddy Dana LeDuc is a native Washingtonian, and this is my 9th year here with the camp. We started off right here at this golf course doing everything in the clubhouse, and now we're at the convention center. So this thing has grown leaps and bounds, and all the credit goes to Coach LeDuc, and I give him more credit for me being the #1 player in the 1982 draft and winning the Lombardi Trophy than any other coach, because, I mean, he really knows his craft, and, of course, that's evident by him being a world champ. So it's just good to be here and see you guys.
All right. And Kenneth, let me ask you one more question. What does it mean to the kids here who participate in the football camp?
Well, the funds have been for scholarships. We're giving out 2 scholarships this year to kids that are going to go to college. So the monetary benefits of it are immense because, of course, the area is a little deprived. So we want to help where we can, and Dana's done a wonderful job, along with the community, of boosting the kids and raising money for them. And, you can't ever overstate the fact that you're helping a kid get an education.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome, man. Have a good one.
You too. Okay, and we're here with All-American Doug English. And Doug, tell us a little bit about your career and why you're here in Ocean Shores today.
Well, I'm happy to do that, and I'm happy to be here. Dana LeDuc has been a friend of mine since he was a shot putter at the University of Texas, and I was a ball player. And he's a special human being. He came into the school, and he upgraded everybody. I mean, as athletes, we began to take weightlifting and training just a little more seriously as he set the example. And he's continued to have that impact everywhere he's gone. And so when he started this, of course, I was thrilled to be able to be a part of it. And the reason I think it means so much to me is that, I think, and this has been a long-standing argument of mine, but I really believe that the lack of 2-parent families that are willing to be inconvenienced by their kids is the source of most of the problems in the world. And so anything that we as athletes can do to have an opportunity to talk to these young folks and provide a positive message, and maybe one they're not hearing where they live, and be a voice in their head when they make those choices, I think that's critical, and that's what we can do to help. And so I'm going to be here every chance I get, and really grown to love the people here in the Ocean Shores and Grays Harbor area, and it's now becoming a part of my life.
And tell us just a little bit about your career.
Okay, well, yeah, I played in 72, 3, and 4 for the University of Texas, and I was drafted by the Detroit Lions and played there for 11 years, although I skipped 1 year in the middle. So it's a long story. You don't have enough memory for that one, but it worked out very well for all concerned, and went to 4 Pro Bowls and managed to own part of the record for safeties in the NFL to this day. There used to be 2 of us, and now there's 4 of us. And as soon as somebody gets 5 safeties, then they'll own it all. But right now, 4 is the record, and it's kind of fun having that. Had great coaching. So even though Detroit was never known as a great team, I was very fortunate that had a great coach at every stage of my 11 years there, a great defensive line coach, and that really, I mean, I attribute that to the successes I had was strictly coaching, and so, and then I've I've owned a few businesses since then, and I'm kind of semi-retired and work on my ranch most of the time now.
And where do you live?
In the Austin, Texas area.
So you came up from Austin to be part of this event?
Yes, yeah.
All right, that's
Got in about 3 o'clock my time yesterday morning. Yeah, just counting the drive and the flight and all that stuff.
All right, well, thanks for being here.
You bet. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming out here and helping out.
How about those Cowboys?
Are you guys all ready? No,
Enchilada!
Let's go! Come on, Bruce! Come on, Bruce! You gotta be Team picture. Team picture. Backs and receivers on the knee. Where's Buzz leaving?
Scoot in.
Come on, Ronnie. Ronnie, scoot in, Ronnie. All right. Here we go. You can't see him, English. He can't see you.
But you got something.
We are here with Hoquiam Mayor Ben Winkleman. Mayor Winkleman, what brings you to Ocean Shores?
Well, we came out today, this morning, to participate. Grays Harbor Youth Athletics does this fundraiser, an amazing camp for football players. It's for free, and they run a fundraiser today. So today, out at the convention center, we're having the fundraising auction. A lot of players spent the morning playing golf. That's also part of the fundraising. And then tomorrow, they will run a football camp for local athletes, all the way from little tiny guys and girls to all the way into high school. It's an amazing opportunity for them to sit down and spend some time with professional athletes, coaches. Some of the most famous coaches from around the country come to this and donate their time. It's a really neat event, and my apparel company that is Grays Harbor Unders, it's in Hoquiam, and we've been one of their sponsors for years and just love everything it does for the community. So was excited to come out today and do a little bit of golfing. I'm going to enjoy the auction, a little dinner later, and we'll go down and watch all the kids. And these coaches are really amazing coaches and players from the NFL and all over the place, and they get right down to the level of whatever the kids they're coming in with, and it's really exciting for the kids. It's exciting for everybody. So they'll be in Olympic Stadium tomorrow. That historic stadium in Hoquiam is the finest example in the nation of a wooden stadium, and so we're really proud of that, and we love hosting them every single year. So I've spent the morning out here. I'm looking forward to spending the rest of the afternoon, and it's a busy weekend out here in Ocean Shores.
We are here now with Mike Brown. And Mike, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing here.
How much time you got?
As much time as you're willing to give us.
All right. Well, I'm a longtime radio sportscaster. I did 42 years of radio, most of them in Seattle. Worked at Cairo Radio and did a number of other things. I still do the play-by-play for the Washington Husky softball team. And I've done a lot of different coverage for a lot of different sports. But about 8-9 years ago, I got out of radio for the most part and am now doing a lot of charity fundraisers like this one tonight. I'm an MC, I'm an auctioneer, and I host a lot of other fundraisers as well. So I still got kind of a full plate going on. I love what I do, and I have no plans to retire.
We are here with Bea Wolfdog, and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing here.
Well, the reason I'm here is for these kids, for one thing. And I got the nickname Bea Wolfdog because I've been fighting bladder cancer for 2.5 years. I'm back in action. and I'm here for the kids. I'm probably the number one money raiser in the Pacific Northwest for these kids, and I grew up in Tacoma, and I get all these developed a good group of people that are supporting the kids with whole sponsorships. So I think I was up between 35 and 40 whole sponsorships this year. I set my own record. I grew up in Tacoma in the Hilltop, and I'm a native of Tacoma with the Italian community, and I brought this type of feeling from our community to this community here to save these kids' lives. They're committing suicide, and so we came in to mentor. I've been involved in this for about 6 years. My partner, Charlie McShane, he was a linebacker of the Seahawks, invited me down, and he said, hey, there's a lady across the way that Dana LeDuc asked me if we could help fix her deck. So we rebuilt her deck, and we didn't charge her a dime. We did it in about 2 hours, saved her $1,000, and that's how I got my start with this wonderful camp with Dana LeDuc and all these players.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that
You know, as I said earlier, it does take a village to put this together, this event. It's gotten so much bigger than we ever expected it would, but with the likes of all the folks that have helped us here, the locals and so forth, and especially my best friend here, Mary LeDuc, and as we've spoke many times, it's a lot of work, but there's a lot of joyfulness, especially after tomorrow, watching the kids, and we're making sure they have the proper equipment and proper coaching, and that our coaches are certified and all those things. But I'd like to let my wife say a few words. She really has done more work than you can imagine, and obviously has cleaned up most of the mistakes that I've made. So here's Mary.
Well, not that there have been many of them, but it does take a village, and I have never seen a community come together really as they have this year over any other year, and people who are not directly benefiting from the money that we raise. It might be going to their grandchildren, but they are stepping up and they are making baskets for the silent auction, or they're out selling tickets, or they're out selling whole sponsors, or they're hosting a party, and it is just amazing the support that we have gotten from the community here in Ocean Shores.
We can't wait. We can't wait to get out there tomorrow on the field and be with over 200 young kids tomorrow and making a difference and letting them know that, hey, don't let anybody get in the way of your dreams. Anything is possible if you're willing to work hard for it. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for covering this event, and it means a lot to us. Thank you.